Windsor. About an hour drive. I'll excuse myself as awkward. But you know, it's more than that. I'll say hi and you'll say, how you doing? And I'll say, I'm frustrated. And you'll ask why, because you feel obligated. But you weren't even interested in how I'm doing. All these rules seem to escape me. Not my awareness, but why they're the policy. I believe diplomacy is another word for dishonesty, so I don't say anything unless it's genuine. Sincere in my praise and in my criticism. And I've been told that I ought to hold it in, but that's not an option with my brain-to-mouth connection. My vocalization has been subject to discipline, and ever since kindergarten, I have cried how none of it was justified. There was no harassment, no disrespect. Apparently it's a felony to be politically incorrect. But that won't deter me from pointing out the absurdity of cultural festivities centered around gluttony to celebrate a fantasy. I won't relent in expressing my contempt for promiscuity and recreational brain cell fatalities. And I don't want to party. I don't want anyone to party. Your party is a lie. To see intentionally blurry is a lie. To say it was awesome and not remember how come is a lie. And lies are sickening. That's why you feel like shit in the morning. I swear I'll never join in your poison. But eavesdropping on the laughing kicked in some envy. I don't like the activity, but I want to be included. Can we get the activity substituted? Maybe play Scrabble or discuss our aspirations? Why can't we have fun without intoxication? Why can't we appreciate what we did as children, running across the yard to tag you again? Why can't we be honest? I've done my damnedest to be transparent, but I ended up invisible. I wish I were approachable or could do the approaching or could do anything other than watch humanity pass me by and wonder what it's like to be part of the parade. I want to be showered in love like a winning coach in Gatorade, but I'm not even close with the few friends I've made. And I might struggle with relationships if I could get second dates. If you could judge me by my actions, I'm a person deserving of association. It's this crazy combination to be proud of my decisions and feeling like a failure. I'm the last of a species that can't speak in camouflage, but I'll excuse myself as awkward.
All right.
I wish I could believe in someone to guide me through a labyrinth of anxieties, across the street from the chapel where there's only one aisle and there may as well be a lighted exit sign above the altar. It's so much easier to say that someone has a plan and I can be forgiven, though I'm not sure what I did. And I object to the insinuation of original sin because it contradicts the innocence of children. But anyway, I'm a good person, and I'd be bound for heaven. If only I could drink the wine and chew the crackers without bursting into laughter. Come on, this is preposterous. But what's genuine is the bliss. From the choir to the bleachers, from the infants to the seniors, to the woman who will never walk again, who daily thanks him for her blessings. Which gets me thinking it's a defense mechanism to suppress the depression she is entitled. We're all entitled since we're only here a little while. And that contemplation is a cinder block pregnancy, ticking away as I'm desperate for a legacy, amazed by the serenity of everyone singing along to lyrics unmelodic, simplistic, repetitious, somehow infectious for everyone but me. And it's awfully lonely without that pathogen. See, I thought I could fit in, and they told me I was welcome. The whole congregation has been gracious without a hint of sarcasm. I like the part of the sermon promoting personal responsibility. I admire the architecture and the stained glass tapestries, and I must confess, the restrooms are immaculate. It's just that I start to get unsettled when listening to individuals synchronizing in asinine rituals. I start to get irritated when it's matter-of-factly stated that the world was created by a supernatural enabler. I get a little pissed off when someone tells me that I'm lost, unless I trust in the recommendations of a man who's long been a skeleton. And I'm dying to mention how unquestioning devotion is usually the reason behind every attempt at genocide. And they'd probably smile because I'm the one in denial of a peaceful existence. cradled in a beautiful fantasy, enough to drive me to the edge of a leap of faith. Looking down on a chasm of happiness they tell me is bottomless, and I wish I could believe, but my feet won't leave the ground.
All right.
All right, I got 3 more for you. One long one and then 2 shorter ones. Who knows the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock? This is called The Reincarnation of J. Alfred Prufrock. Let us meet then, you and I, afraid to call it by its name, after online profiles and the emails we exchanged. Enter the tension we would exacerbate if we were to mention this is our first date. Let us go through the formality of asking how each other's day was okay like every other day. We may have spent the last 3 hours deciding what to wear. You'll hope I'm witty and debonair, and I'll hope you won't notice I'm only an inch taller than you. Though we both know, based on my profile, I should be taller by 2. The women search above their heads and declare the good ones must all be dead. Tell the waitress what we'll have to drink. Why must I be the first to choose? I'd rather just have water, but I'd rather you have booze. Not that I would prey upon your judgment when it's hindered, but maybe in that state I won't seem as awkward. We discuss our careers like standing on a diving board, hoping it's not too shallow to the bottom, reluctant to get wet at all. We're not interested in diving, we simply want to fall. And there will be time to backstroke through our anecdotes and submerge ourselves in our aspirations. There will be time to tread lightly when discussing our faith, and time to list off our siblings' and parents' occupations. There will be plenty of time to try to find some common ground in our political persuasions. I'll try to sound smart and I'll come off as condescending. I'll try to make a joke and I'll end up offending. Just when I'm sure of exactly what to say, I'll get distracted by the waitress arriving with our entrees. The women bring the diplomats to bed and declare the good ones must all be dead. So where were we in our exchange? I was wondering about the town you grew up in. No, that's not really what I was wondering, but do I dare? Do I dare to catapult myself over the gates of etiquette? The question, our most urgent question, has never been explicit. You would say, I'm not comfortable answering your query, and that you would even bring it up has made me leery, and therefore, I don't think we should meet again. But I wish you good fortune. I'm sure you'll find someone. And I would say, I'm not so certain, because I've heard that before, and the tally has ballooned, so how can you presume? For I am acquainted. I've been introduced to you all. I've met the ones with beauty bombarding my senses, so stunning I was wondering whether I was dreaming. I've met the ones where I felt the philosophical consensus and believed as companions we would find our meaning. I've met the ones who seemed unabashedly enthralled, but then I reconsidered because they didn't return my calls. I have met you all, and the outcome has repeated. On paper, there's potential, but your eyes refuse to read it. The eyes that acknowledge a handsome visage and slowly lose their fascination. The eyes that are resigned to the next one in line since I didn't meet their expectations. The eyes that are skeptics that I could be remotely romantic and write me off as a robot in a costume. Though in reality I'd make it my priority to make you swoon, so how can you presume? I go back to my rut, the fist in the gut that I've been rejected. If I think we connected, I know I'll soon be corrected. Am I supposed to say, your apprehension goes away? Eventually, you just have to get used to my eccentricities. But once you do, I know you'll love me. Well, I can't guarantee, but you ought to love me because I would love you with honor and intensity. This helplessness to successfully cajole has led me to improve upon what's within my control. There's a reason I'm in the gym nightly, gripping my dumbbells and frustrations tightly. And there's a reason for all the bran flakes and broccoli, the black beans, the red grapes, and the green tea. You see, it's all about prolonging my longevity. So somewhere in there, I can find my devotion. Someone to join me in vitality's erosion. And isn't that the question we're not allowed to raise? Will we be together through the end of our days? Will I show our children my favorite cartoons? Will you talk me into refurnishing the living